Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to serve anyone who's looking to level up from their current situation. This show is dedicated to helping raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts out there, those who want more out of life, those who want to do more, those who want to be more, those who love the thrill, the joy, and the connection of what these high-performance engines bring into our lives. Because holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a good freaking person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, today we're doing things a little bit different here, as you can see, or if you're just listening, I'm giving you a little heads up. Today I have an honor to have one of my really good friends on the show, Ricky Boada. He's actually the first guest that we have on the Live Wide Open podcast, and I'm excited to kind of just have you here, and I wouldn't want no other way than to be here with you, man, just sharing this and having this cool opportunity here with you, man.
I appreciate that, bro. Hell yeah. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure, honestly, and thank you for having me as your first guest.
Yeah.
It's cool. I listen to this podcast all the time. I told you when I'm doing my dishes, like just in the morning after I make my breakfast, or while I'm eating breakfast, after I make breakfast, while I'm getting ready. Yeah. I'm listening to your podcast, and it's awesome, man. I've known you. I've seen you grow. We've known each other for probably since 2006. So, close to 20 years already we've known each other. I've seen you grow tremendously. And dude, first of all, I'm really proud of you. I have to say that on here.
Thank you.
Off rip. Super proud of you. I've seen the progress. And bro, we're on the way to the top, man. Yes. It's just, we're on a steady growth.
I like it, bro. I like it. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Those are fucking some kind words. It means a lot to me. Gets me excited. Guys, if you see us looking down, or if you're watching this, it's because we have my puppy Zuri here. She's not a puppy so much, but she's actually going to be one in a couple of days, so she might be coming in and out of the scene. But that's just life. This is how we roll. This is who we are, and I like to be candid. I like to be authentic. I like for you to see everything about me, who I am. So if you meet me on the street and you're just listening to me through here, you'll be like, man, that guy is just like how he is on the podcast. So for those of you guys watching, this is who's going to be interrupting for a lot of the show right here. This is my girl, Zuri. But let's get it. Today, we're going to be really diving into cars and maybe a little bit of bikes and lifestyle, and more specifically about lifestyle. I like, I like mindset. I like fitness and a little bit about spirituality. I feel like that is kind of big on who we are. And it feeds our passion that we have for cars, for motorcycles, and we will get into the cars and maybe the bikes soon, because that's what really feeds our adrenaline. But more so, I feel like it's important to start with our own lifestyle, with the things that really gets us to thrive, because if we don't take care of ourselves, then we can't go make money. And if we can't go make money, then we can't go buy our toys that help us thrive. So it's kind of like
exactly, it's a full circle.
It's a full circle. It comes together. And so as far as lifestyle, I'm big on mindset, I'm big on fitness and a little bit of spirituality. And I like to start kind of on that, right? And what are your takes on that? More so specifically the mindset approach. Do you believe in mindset? Do you feel it's important? What is your take on mindset?
Well, of course I believe in mindset. I mean, bro, mindset sets the mood, for when you go do things. It's very important. Not even us saying it is what's important. The people that are very truly successful, they believe in mindset. I mean, it's a no secret type of thing. It's one of those things that's still being spoken about, but really everybody should just grasp already. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I do believe in that too. I feel like your mindset really sets the tone for whatever activity you're approaching. Even in motorcycles, if I go riding with a shitty mindset and I'm down and I'm gonna fall. I'm not gonna be in the zone. Similar to you, maybe when you go drifting or do your thing. I'm sure you got to be in the right tone and
exactly
mindset. Mind frame is the word that I was looking for.
Yeah. So I agree with that. Doing everything with intention too, because your mindset sets the intention of what you want to do things and how you want to do them.
Okay, I like that. And I've talked about it in the past in the podcast, but there's a growth mindset and then there's a fixed mindset. Are you familiar with that?
ish.
Okay, so pretty much a growth mindset. It's someone who knows that their abilities are not fixed. That you can grow. That you can become better. That we can always have the ability to change our situation for the better because we believe in ourselves.
Yeah.
And versus a fixed mindset is that you believe that your cards that are dealt with is just the cards and like you can't change and you're fixed.
Yeah.
And so I mean, just based on your feedback here.
Thankfully we have a growth mindset.
Yeah.
Easily.
For sure, man. And I always encourage everyone to have that type of look and that outlook on life, because even people that have a fixed mindset, you can definitely change it to a growth mindset and know that just because you're maybe not doing well right now, or just because things are not in line with you right now, or just because you might be in a funk, you have the power to change it in you. Like, you really do. If you put your mind to what you want and you put some action behind it, some belief, some faith, you can really turn things around for yourself.
For sure. We know that, dude. We've been through it. We've gone through it. People go low points in their lives, high points in their lives, and it's about literally changing the way that you think. When you wake up in the morning, you can't think, oh, these are the cards that were dealt for me. Thankfully, man, we're blessed. Like, where we didn't grow up in crazy poverty. Like, we're thankful that we weren't sleeping inside a cardboard box like people have, truthfully.
Yeah.
And then there's some people that are like sleeping there and they think this is just what my life is. And there's people that are in those same situations. They're like, bro, I'm going to go out and get it. And a lot of times those are the billionaires that we see today in this world that are just with that growth mindset. And when that's really engraved, it could take you to the moon.
For sure, man. I do believe in that. I think it's very powerful and key for you to have that type of outlook on life, so that if you understand that, the possibilities are really endless.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you know that your traits, your abilities, your characteristics are not fixed, and then they can grow as you develop, then there is no limits. As long as you're willing to put in the work, we just keep getting better, and we just keep getting better. And every year we just keep getting more toys. Yeah. And every year I feel like grown men, people like us, we never really grow up. Our toys just get more expensive.
Yeah, that's a fact. For sure.
Also, which is why 1320, baby. Like, I always try to do some type of car short, some type of car related or more sport related shirt, because this is truly what drives my passion, man. And I know you too. Like,
I know.
Like, literally, we get in a car and we maybe go a little sideways or step on it a little bit, and like, that jiggle, that giggle inside of us goes, and the year-to-year smile develops. And
for sure, man, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
that's what drives us. I mean, it just is what it is. People have different hobbies.
Yeah,
but for us, the adrenaline-driven hobbies are what really get to us.
It is. And it really what helps us, and I believe push things to the next level. Obviously, while you're drifting, while you're riding a motorcycle, whatever, we're pushing things to the next level. But because we're adrenaline-based people. I feel like that we also make our thrive in our careers and our business, chasing that adrenaline, chasing that next level, chasing what does the end of the year look like when we're fucking grinding and changing our situation for the better. Like, it really helps us just level up.
For sure. I agree.
Okay. Do you have any tactics or strategies that you currently use really to get you in the right mood or set your tone for the day? Like something that you could recommend that you do for sure, like, so that you're not in a funk, or like what do you do?
Well, bro, everyone wakes up differently every single day, and I'm not gonna say I'm like extremely successful, and because it makes me feel like I have like an imposter syndrome when I'm here saying like, oh, well, this is my morning routine and stuff like that. I don't really like to speak on those levels, because there's people that are extremely, extremely wealthy and are successful in their own ways, and it just kind of whatever works for them, right? But I will say that, and this I learned from college, like the Tony Robbins seminar and stuff like that, having a power move, or just like saying, bro, I've sent you videos where, I wake up in a funk and I wake up and I'm like, oh no. For me, a nice stretch and just like, bro, I'm like, let's fucking go, baby. Yeah. Those are my words. I just say, let's fucking go, baby. Let's go. And then that's it. Give it a couple claps, couple 5 jumping jacks, couple high kicks, bro, and I'm ready to rock the world. Like, once I do that, I'm I'm ready to go. You know.
And so is that what you implement? Like you're pretty much changing your pattern, changing your state of being.
Yeah.
For you to attack the next move or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Like,
even if it's something I don't want to do, before making cold calls, I'm like, ready? Yeah. Let's go. You know, it's not funny because I'm like, oh, hyped up, then I go sit down on my desk. Yeah. But it just is what it is, man. It gets you going. It gets the adrenaline going, the blood flow going. It's whatever you have to do. Everybody has their own tricks.
Yeah. But can you relate? I guess for the listeners out there, is that it's funny that you made that example to go make cold calls. But do you do something similar to when you're going to go drift?
Oh, for sure. When I'm in a drift, right before I get in the car, quick stretch just to feel loose. Yeah. Get in the car.
So it goes to say that not only does it apply to motorsports, but it applies to career and business. Yeah. Even to go.
And it's all about learning yourself, knowing who you are, what works for you. Okay. Right. I mean, we spoke about this a little bit earlier about how like you journal, right? And we were listening to some music, and Randy's like, "Oh, you know, it was a little quiet," and we're like, "Oh, let's put on some music." And I told you, I'm like, dude, it's crazy. Sometimes I am in dead silence for hours, and it's just me in my head going through all my thoughts, talking to myself, going through everything. So it's about what works for the individual person. Okay, you know? That's the way I see it. I don't know.
No, I agree. There's different techniques. There's different methods. You got to find what works best for you.
Yeah,
something There's no one set rule in specific that's going to work for everybody.
Exactly.
What will work for everybody is realizing that you have the power, the ability to shift your mood, shift your state of being. And when you realize that, then it becomes very powerful, because all it takes is just being aware of your mood, of your situation, of like, oh man, I'm feeling down. Oh man, I'm lethargic right now. Oh, my shoulders are down. Like I'm not in the mood to kind of do anything. Yeah. And then you just notice that, and you find whatever works for you, and then bam, you get back up to being hyped. You get back up to making moves, you know.
That's how it is.
Yeah, and so like earlier, we were talking about that, and I'm a big music guy. I like to put on some music to help with my mood, my vibe, and when it gets too quiet, like I feel like my mind goes racing these thoughts, and sometimes I most of the time I can control it, but sometimes I can't, and it goes into these rabbit holes of thoughts, and I'm like, hold on, let's put some music here real quick to keep the vibe up, man. That's awesome. So okay, mindset is big. We both share on that. I feel like it's a good part of life and growing. Over the years, I've gotten big on fitness as well. I remember.
Dude, you are somebody that's extremely admirable when it comes to the fitness stuff.
Thank you.
You put your mind to it and you rock, bro. Honestly, like for me, I told you, I mean, it's sometimes I slack a little bit, you know, on the fitness stuff. I've thankfully always had a six-pack my entire life. I don't know how.
It's funny that I was ready. I didn't want to cut you off, but like, and I appreciate those kind of words about the fitness, you know, and that's kind of what the mindset that I've taken on to be able to do these Ironman 70.3s and take those to the next level. But I remember us even years back going out on the boat, and then me, and back then I wasn't into fitness, and me looking at you with a six-pack, and looking at all like, damn, bro, I need to really get my shit together.
Yeah, man.
And it's funny how you still have a six-pack, and I've been hitting it hard in fitness, and I'm working on my six-pack. I'm still not there, but I'm going to get there.
I'm proud of you, dude.
Thank you.
I was looking around your house and just seeing all the different stages that you've been in your life, because you take a lot of pictures. Yeah. You know, I'm just like, wow, look at Randy there. Wow, look at Randy here. And it's crazy to see where you're at now. I feel like you are on top of the world compared to where, you know, you've been in other places of your life.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I like to keep pictures around to remind yourself not only of the good memories, but also of the baseline that you're setting for yourself, because we're only going forward from here. Like, you know, like, and obviously in a practical stance, but also in a mindset stance of we're only moving up, we're only growing, we're only getting better. And so looking at pictures like that, sometimes I look at some older pictures, and like yesterday, the day before yesterday, I was going through some memories on this day type of pictures on my iPhone. And I was seeing some pictures when we first bought our home. And man, I was like 40 plus pounds more than I am right now. And I was like, whoa. Like,
all right, I have something to tell you. Yeah. When I saw you did that, I did the same thing.
Oh, yeah?
So for anybody listening, do this. Whatever date it is today, maybe you're listening on another random day. That's not the day we're shooting this. But whenever you're listening to this, go on your phone and go to the photos and type in the date, and you'll see all the way back, as far as you've had your phone, all the pictures from that day.
Yeah.
And bro, it brought back some crazy memories for me. I'm like, yo, this is what I was doing 5 years ago, this exact same day.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And it makes you think of where you were in life at that point too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And sometimes it may make you think, holy shit, I'm really close to where I'm at. And that's bad. Because if you're like, oh, I'm kind of still on the same, you know, fucking around.
Yeah.
You need to hop on your fucking A game, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Or you could be like, whoa, I've come a long way, you know?
Absolutely. And it's funny because if you do that and you think back of those times, and a lot of the times they're like, oh, I want to be here by this day, or I want to be there. And maybe not necessarily you, or maybe you would have hit that goal, or you came really close, and then you realize that, oh man, I'm right where I wanted to be if you've been putting in that work, you know? Like,
and sometimes you don't even realize that you're right where you wanted to be. I looked at my phone and I was like, oh wow, this is when my vet had a stock motor. Yeah. And now I was at that point wishing like, damn, it'd be crazy if I had a fully built motor, blah, 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 blah. And I look back, I'm like, bro, that's what I got right now. Yeah. You know, that's what I wanted back then. I got that now. And there's small things like that, like, bro, built motor. You know, back then I was like, that's what I want. But those to us now, they're just like, you know, it's not anything major, but it just still makes you think like, bro, we're moving forward, you know? And those are small things compared to the bigger picture, but it still makes you remember like, dude, I'm getting whatever I want.
Yeah. I like that. I like that approach, because if you have that energy about you, like if you have that mindset, if you have that, like, I'm going to go get it. And it doesn't, and no matter how long it's going to take, but I'm going to go get it. Yeah. You never stop giving it your all. Like those will come to fruition. Like, you know, and just like, remember back then you were wishing you had a build motor, and then like, now you're building the craziest project that you ever, that we'll touch on later, you know. But but it's just awesome to see the growth and
likewise to you, bro. That's really what made me go back on my pictures and check.
Okay, and so we were talking about fitness there, and I want to bring it back before we hit that routine. I've made it now a big part of my life of fitness, of working out at least 6 days a week. Lately, I've been on this 7 day a week thing, 2 days, kind of with the Live Hard program. And it's really taken my life with discipline to the next level. What does your fitness routine look like? Like, I mean, maybe give a little bit of insight to the listeners, and maybe to me too, of how do you maintain a fucking 6-pack, bro? Because
so to be honest with you, man, it's all about like balance, right? And I don't go super ham on fitness. Like, bro, I see you taking pictures of you sweating, and I was like, 2 years ago I broke a sweat like that, you know? So I don't go ham on fitness, but what I do stay very disciplined on is my eating habits, you know? So I don't, bro, I could be starving at 10 o'clock at night, I may do it, but like 11 already, I'm like, nah, I just can't, you know? And just stay disciplined on that eating side. Fitness side, of course, man. I mean, I like to stretch a lot and feel like I'm capable of doing things still. So like here and there, I'll challenge myself to certain things. Like, bro, it sounds funny, but I'll drop the bed of my truck. Like if I need to grab my ATV on top, instead of like climbing up, I'll just one hop it. Like just boom, you know? And sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, all right, 35, I still got it. You know, I can probably jump all the way up to like where my chest is, like right around my nipple area.
That's really good.
You know, which is crazy vert in my eyes.
White man can jump.
Yeah, so I've been doing that since I was 18, and every so often I'm just like, all right, quick stretch, making sure that you're still on game. Yeah. Making sure you still got it. That's part of it. You know?
Okay, that's cool. So
yeah, and one more thing that I will say that's helped me out a lot throughout my fitness journey is doing body weight. So like calisthenic stuff, pull-ups, push-ups. Just even body weight squats, stuff like that. To me, just stays with you so much longer.
Okay. Do you, and I guess this one's maybe an obvious question, but it's more for the listeners. Do you feel better when you work out every day?
Of course. Yeah.
Do you recommend for people to work out?
Work out every single day. There's days that I don't want to work out. I go for a walk, you know, at least minimum. And I like it. I mean, I like the heat because it makes me sweat. I don't sweat easily. Yeah. So when it's really hot outside, I go for a walk. I get back. I'm like, that was great. Yeah.
And the reason why I'm asking about that is because in our passion of what we like to do in motorsports and all that, I've noticed that the commonality is to not really big into fitness, not say the commonality, but a lot of the guys, you know, and I run into that too in the bike scene, and you can see it all in the drift scene. A lot of guys are not big into fitness, and when I try to preach it, I try to talk to it about, dude, work out, just go for a walk or do it, just put some action into your life every day, and you will feel better and get some kickback. And I like to put other people's perspective so that they could see that it's a common denominator here.
I think that unless you're in the fitness world and you like working out, fitness may not really be a thing. They're in every single sector, bro. There's people that are making crazy bank, and you're like, I read somebody wrote something the other day that made me laugh. But this dude gained like 30, 40 pounds, and somebody was like, "Oh, bro, you're gaining weight," and the guy writes back, "Nah, my pocket's getting fatter," or something like that. I guess because he's been working out a bunch, and because he's been working a lot and making a lot of money. And I was like, that's so dumb. You know, like, bro, you can be as rich as you want. If your health isn't on point, you're done, bro. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to be really obese and make a bunch of money until you're 60 and then die because you didn't take care of yourself? That's no life.
Yeah.
So main thing is you got to take care of yourself. Once you take care of yourself, and I try and eat super clean. Once I know I start eating garbage, I feel like it goes right into the brain, and you don't even think clearly anymore.
Yeah, I agree. And I like to look at fitness as working on your body, as your mind, kind of like the engine of your car, of your race car, of our body. Yeah. Like, you know, you want you want to have pistons, rods, and you want your shit to be fucking firing on all cylinders.
For whoever's, look, you're still listening, you got to do this. This is a trick that works for me. On 75 Hard, you take a picture of yourself every day.
Yeah.
What happens when you don't take a picture of yourself every day? You go through some times where you're not even thinking about how you look. Once you take a picture every day, it's like, even if you don't acknowledge it for too long, you still see your body. You're like, whoa, that's how I look right now. And it's happened to me that I'm like, that ain't it, bro. You're not looking too hot right now, you know? Whether it be because you're super white and you need some sun, or because you're just like, whoa, I got a little, little love handles over here, or you're just not ripped around the shoulder area. Whatever it is, you're looking at yourself, you're like, I'm not super content with that. So then you start working out, and progress, dude, we spoke about it earlier, progress is the key to happiness.
It is. It really is. So the common denominator here, guys, is go work out. Go move. Go get the heart pumping. That is what will feed the engine of our life. That is what's going to produce our results. Mm-hmm. And you want to keep your engine running strong on all cylinders. If you're working out every day, if you're moving the mind, the body.
Start with a little bit too.
Yeah.
Just start with anything. Like, just get the routine going, even if it's walking.
It is. I feel like a lot of people take that one for granted because, it's just walking. No,
it's about doing the movement and just getting it going.
What it really is. That's how we started.
It's about getting that check. All right, cool. I did it today.
Yep. And then you build enough of those and you start feeling more confident. You start feeling better. A subject that I don't want to say too much on because a lot of people have different beliefs and all, but I do want to bring it up because over the recent years, I've become very spiritual in a sense.
Okay.
I've really leaned into my belief side of things, and I've really really just gave thanks to the Lord, to God, for putting me in the positions that we are and helping me grow. And so I'm not here to tell you what you believe in. My whole thing is just whatever you believe in, to encourage you to believe more in it, right? Do you use any type of faith? Like, do you like do you pray, or does that help you evolve? Does that help you become better?
So it's one area of my life where I very much need to improve on. And I see that every time that I do include more of my faith and have more belief, that things do go better for me. And it's just about legit the energy that comes with it. It's like you start believing in it more, you start praying, you start speaking to a greater, and dude, it's just, I think it's the right thing to do, and it just puts you in a better situation.
It is, I believe, and gratitude is the right attitude. And when you're grateful, you really appreciate the small things, and not only that, but when you're going after the big things, it takes having some faith and believing in yourself.
Oh yeah,
and having some help from all the powers may be, that you're gonna go achieve these big things in your life, you know?
Yeah.
And that kind of gives you some more confidence. It gives you some more certainty, because a lot of these big things come with a lot of unknown and uncertainty, you know? So the faith really helps me, at least, kind of drive forward and have some type of system that it's gonna work out.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome, man. Let's talk about the good stuff, man. Even though we've been talking about some great stuff, but I feel like what really drives our passion, what bulls our adrenaline, is the motorsport side of things. You know? It ain't no secret there. Like, if you follow me, if you follow Ricky, you know that we're both big motorsport guys.
That's why most people follow me.
Yeah.
We're into the savage stuff. That's just what we like.
Yes. What about cars attracts you? Like, actually, let me work that back. Before you hit that, how long have you been into cars? Because I feel like it's cars, you're going to say, like, the big one for you?
Yeah, cars are definitely what drives me forward, what brings me happiness, adrenaline, headaches, you know? Bro, ever since I could remember, I was 3 years old taking things apart, trying to, like, making it, even just, like, taking the body off of my remote control car and putting it back on and be like, oh, sick, you know? Which is funny, because now I don't even really, like, enjoy working on cars. I just want to drive them and, like, rip them super hard. But as far as, like, being into cars, forever, dude.
That's awesome.
It's as far as I could remember.
That's awesome. And then you also have something great that I admire about your family, is that your father's also into the cars.
Yeah, he was pro motocross, and he backs me up completely. You know, he's who taught me how to wheelie. Yeah. He'll be like, oh, go do this, go do that. Like, my friend fell doing a wheelie the other day, and, like, comes over, and my dad's like, yo, bring your bike over. I'll show you how to do it. I'm like, bro,
that's awesome.
You're 69 years old now. You can't really be doing that type of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, no, I have great supportive family, but since forever, I've liked it.
And not only wheeling, but I know your dad also was throwing it down or so on a couple on ramps, you know?
Yeah. My dad, I remember when I used to go to work with him right out of college, and, you know, construction, you're out on the road at 5:30 in the morning, and I'd be getting home at 4 in the morning, and he's like, yo, wake up. I'm like, all right, just wake me up when we get there. All right, traction control off. Woo! And I'm like, all right, I'm awake. This guy would be drifting the on-ramp. I'm like, bro. That's awesome. He's like, yeah, wake up, bro. I'm going to keep drifting. I'm good.
That's awesome, man. I think that's so cool. I feel like I admire that you guys can share that together.
Yeah.
That's something that I want to share with my kids as God blesses my family. And so cars have always kind of been in your life kind of deal. And, like, is there anything specifically that attracts you to them? Like,
to cars?
Yeah, like,
I don't know, man. Just the way it makes you feel. Honestly, it's kind of like a skill. Like, I'm good at driving, or I think I am.
Yeah.
And it's just I know how to read the cars too. So maybe maybe the listeners won't understand this, or maybe they'll be like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Every car is different. Every single car. Maybe unless you go get 2 brand new M3s and put them next to each other, maybe both of those cars are going to be the same. But, like, Corvette from 2002, and then you grab another Corvette from 2002, they're not going to be the same. Like, one's going to have a little bit more work done, and one's going to have this. A 911 is going to feel completely different. All these cars all have their own personalities, and once you start understanding the cars, you like them even more. My Jeep, I hand you the keys, you probably won't even be able to get into third. You know, and then you drive it a couple more times, and you're like, bro, I realize that this is how it likes it, you know? And then it's like, whoa, boom, okay, now, you know? So the more you learn these cars, and the more that you can feel confident driving them and understanding them, is what makes you be better. Even in the motorcycle, the bad part is when you get too confident in them, you know? Because when I fell on the Banshee, I didn't think it could happen, and it didn't happen the way that I would have thought. But at that point, I think that was maybe even a blessing that I shattered my arm, because at that point I felt like I could do whatever I want with this thing. You know what I mean? Like it was like an extension of my body, but I had full control over it. And I'd take a corner and I'd be like, I'm going a little too fast, but watch this, you know, and I'd be able to pull it off, and it just grows your confidence. But once you cross that line, that's when things get dangerous.
Yeah, I do agree. I've had a couple hard falls myself.
Yeah, exactly.
and it does get to that point where you're like, oh man, I'm being a little overconfident here. I truly feel like you should never lose the fear of it.
No, you don't lose the fear, but you should never lose the respect for it.
Yes, very true, very true. I obviously everyone is in different financial situations, and I'm not here to say put yourself in a bad financial situation. But in a past podcast episode, I was talking about like if you drive something nice, something that you're passionate about, and it doesn't have to be something new. It could be something old, especially for car guys. It really helps you thrive. It makes you feel good. It makes you show up to places like on a good energy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel the same?
Yes, but I also feel like I want more every time.
Okay.
Like I could drive something super dope and I get wherever I'm going and people are complimenting the car and I'm like, all right, I want this. You know what I mean? Like I drove my vet over here and I told you on the way over here, 2 people stopped me, like 2 different stoplights. It was like, bro, they told me to put the window down. Bro, how sick, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, thank you, man. At the same time, like, I need a GT3, you know? Yeah. So you got to be grateful for it, but always strive for more. Yes. But yes, I agree. Whatever you drive kind of like makes you feel a certain way.
And so do you recommend for people to go and drive something that they're passionate about?
Smartly, yeah.
Yeah, smartly, okay. Yeah, because I've run into people that are like, I don't know, man, I'd rather just kind of drive a basic thing. And maybe those people are just not car guys, you know? But for me, and like I experienced it with my wife, is when we got her the SRT, like she's a car girl, obviously, but she was telling me like I was showing up nice, I was showing up confident, I was sitting good in traffic, like I was looking at the car and I was like, yeah, this is mine.
Yeah, it
like,
makes you feel good.
Yeah, it kind of grows your confidence. So I always like to recommend to people, man, if you can afford it, go drive something good that makes you feel good, because it just elevates your energy and how much more you're willing to work towards getting ahead in life.
Yeah, definitely. Different things for certain people. For us, that definitely works. I have a friend that he has a business and he was driving like an old van every day. And if he would meet his numbers, he would drive his GT4 that he had in the garage.
Okay.
And it's like, you know, very limited Porsche, like really nice wheels, suspension, exhaust, everything. And sometimes he's like, oh, I didn't hit my numbers at work. And he had his own business, so he would set his own numbers. But if he didn't hit the number, he didn't drive his car. So it was like different motivation levels where he told himself, if I drive this GT4 every day, I may start slacking. I feel like I made it. Weirdly.
I like that approach, though, because it makes you work for it, you know? Because I've seen, too, a lot of successful dudes that like can go and buy whatever they want, but they'll put certain goals in place to where like, oh, I can't go buy this car until I hit this milestone. Yeah. You know, and it just really makes you work for it. It makes you stay grinding.
Yeah.
What kind of cars do you have in your fleet? Like, I don't know, you want to talk a little bit about you're a big car guy, so
yeah, we'll dive a tiny little bit into that. I have a little bit of everything, but I still have a lot more to go. But a little bit of everything as far as like the Jeep, which is like a beach cruiser, old school, makes me feel, honestly, vibes are immaculate. Okay. You know, you're driving, you could have a bad day. I'm gonna go drive the Jeep, and you're just, you know, chopping, blah, 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 blah. And but with the beachy feel, so people don't even realize that engine noise is coming from that car. It's like, I love it. Then I have the Rat Rod Model A. A lot of people know me for that car just because it's you know, it's very, I guess, attractive. Building a crazy 69 Camaro right now, which I told you a lot about. Yeah. Should be making 1,000+ horsepower, and it's one of those check marks where it's like, do I need 1,000 horsepower? No. Do I want it? Yes. Have I ever had it? No. Am I gonna get it? Yes. And just once I get it, check it off. Yeah. Know that that's a car that I've wanted my whole life. Have it, you know.
And a lot of listeners might not know this, but I like this specifically about why you're building that car. Is how you're building it is with the purpose of being able to daily drive it.
I just want to drive the fuck out of it. Yeah. You know? In other words, because I was trying to keep it clean, but that's just what it is. Drive the fuck out of it.
Nah, we're here on We Don't Keep It Clean. We keep it real. Yeah. And so it's going to have AC, power steering, sound system.
All the luxuries with 1,000+ horsepower. I'm building everything for 2,000 horsepower so that hopefully at 1,000 I can just press it and not break as many things.
Nice. Turbo V8s.
Yeah.
They make some good power.
Yeah, I mean, the motor, you know, it's
Yeah.
a Dart 427 block, rated for 2,000 horsepower, crank rated for 1,800 horsepower. The turbo is, if anything, the weakest point at 1,350 horsepower. So,
Okay, I like that. And so that one specifically is what you're working on right now on working and taking it, bringing it out to the streets soon.
little by little.
Yeah, little by little, and I know you're getting close to that.
Mm-hmm.
But further on the line, like, what is in your radar? Like, anything you want to share, or what is, like for me, there's something that I'm working on and I don't want to share because I and if you don't want to share, I respect that.
Listen, for me, what I'm working on, and some people that have it may be like, whatever. But for me, what I'm working on is a 911, probably a GT3.
Sick.
And it's one of those that I've been able to afford it many times. And I could probably go get it. And it's such a milestone for me that I'm like, man, when I feel like I really deserve it, I'm going to go get it. And It's going to be like probably a very emotional time for me, but that's really what I want.
That is badass. That is badass. Badass fucking car.
Thanks, man. It's coming.
It will. Not to say that it's comparable, but like my wife is big on Porsches too, and she wants a 911 Turbo S, and every time I go look at it, it's like, I can't wait for you to go get it. So I can drive it.
No, you guys are getting it soon too.
Yeah, so it's sick, man. I also have, this is not what I'm getting next, but I have some like one of those kind of cars that I'm going to get eventually. For me, is like a C6 ZR1.
I thought you liked the C7.
The C7 is also raw too. If I find a nice C7, the problem with the C7, I realized that they only made it 1 year ever. So it's a very expensive kind of collector type car. And as you know, my driving style doesn't go
for me, C601 is peak Corvette. That's my favorite Corvette, period.
Yeah.
The way they look, everything about
it. It is the genuine Corvette.
When they came out, dude, that was like, we couldn't even believe that a car with that much power, that technology was out with warranty. That was like the whole thing back then.
Yeah, and it's sick. And so the C701 still calls my name. But the problem is that my foot doesn't go hand in hand with the collector type of a car. So I think it's more feasible for me to get the Rowdy C601. That's one of those that I will get. And plus, it's a stick shift game. I'm big on that.
Yeah.
We share that passion also. I mean, with your Corvette and with my Camaro.
Yeah.
We both keep them stick shift.
For sure.
That's pretty cool about that. What about motorcycles? You talked a little bit how your dad was into motorcycles. Are you into motorcycles?
I am into motorcycles. I sold mine not that long ago, and I sometimes regret it because, I don't know. Dude, even I had this BMW R9T. Looked like it was worth a lot of money. It really wasn't, but it had the look, And I put it up for sale. A guy comes down to buy it, hands me the money, pull it out of the garage, and I was like, I hadn't seen this thing in 6 months. I pulled it out of the garage and I was like, hey, listen, man, I'm really sorry. I can't sell you the bike. And the guy got pissed, but I was like, my bad. I'm not going to feel good about it if I sell it. Because like I hadn't seen it in a while. So I love them. I just, for some reason, one way or another, I don't have too much time to ride them, But I do love my ATV, my Banshee. I feel like it's a legendary bike, so I'll never sell that. And I am going to get another motorcycle at one point too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
And now I feel like I'm mature enough to own a street bike, which before I stayed away from it purposely, knowing I know myself.
I felt there for a second because they generally are fast. I've been riding motorcycles my whole life. As you know, this was my first 1000 here in the back. For anyone just listening, we have a GSXR 1000R, a 2022 model. It's my baby. It's the first 1000 I've ever had. I've always been kind of like in the 600 range, kind of stunning and all that. And when I first got it, the bike got me into a lot of trouble because you didn't realize how fast you actually gain the speed.
Yeah.
And so I respect that comment that you made that, a lot of people think that they might be ready for that type of power. And what happens is that you don't realize how fast it gets to those speeds. and you end up getting in trouble. Because I've gotten into trouble a couple times. I've been able to thankfully ride it out.
Yeah.
And now I respect it more, and now I'm actually more confident with it, and I throw it down pretty good. But it's when I first got it,
it's a beast.
It surprised me a lot.
I know.
I wasn't
but that's the thing about being mature enough. I don't think I was mature enough before to have a Z06 either. Now I'm driving down the highway at 55 in the Z06, where I don't find the need to just be like, all the time, you know? Same now. I'm like, oh, if I got a street bike, I know I can chill and cruise. Once in a while, you're going to open it up, but I don't need the whole craziness at all times.
Yeah, yeah. I like to say that I like to cruise slow on this, but it's hard to cruise slow on it.
I know.
A lot of times I find myself with just one hand on the tank and just kind of cruising
Just
going in and out of traffic. And when I look at the dash, it's like 90-ish, 100, you know, and I'm like, oh, I need to back it back down. But you don't realize that you're going that fast because it's just the power is there.
So good.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Your Banshee, I remember I rode that one, and that one is badass.
Yeah.
Fucking every wheelie, every gear wheeling, the power back kicks in and it comes up.
Yeah, man.
That's a cool build.
Thank you.
That's a cool build.
Yeah, it's a built motor, cub block, recently exploded. It's fine. Like, people were like, oh, man, you're heartbroken, right? How do you feel? I'm like, listen, bro, I've been through enough broken stuff that I'm used to it. Like, if you're going to have stuff that's built, that's fast, that's meant to be ragged on, and you use it how it's intended, it's going to go at one point or another.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
There's this meme out there that it says it's more of like two different faces, and it says like first blown motor, oh my god,
yeah,
and then it's like ninth blown motor, and he's just there chilling like, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah,
like it's just part of the game. You push the limits, and you really just
there's so much that comes along with this game that you have to learn how to navigate through all aspects of it.
Yeah, I feel like it's all part of the journey, and like it makes it fun too, because you start really appreciating the growth, because every time you fix it, you got to make it better and faster and more powerful. So.
Exactly. It's all about growth, man.
It is. I like that, man. I like that. Is there anything else that kind of you want to add? I mean, I didn't want to make this episode too long,
but no, I did want to add some stuff. So for anybody listening, we can dive into like 5 minutes of things real quick. Bro, I want to say that everything that you helped me with was tremendous. I've spoken to a couple friends, and they would be like, oh, listen, bro, what's the big deal, this and that. And it's the way that you break down a lot of life and the grading system that you have. And we've been through so much, and we've spoken through so much. And for people that are like, oh, well, I'm going to work out 3 times a week, or I'm going to work out 4 times a week. Okay, that's cool. You could do that, and that's a start, better than 0, right? But when you grade yourself, you're like, bro, what about people that eat good Monday through Friday and work out Monday through Friday and then go on a bender Saturday and Saturday? I think we had done the math, and you end up with a C- in life. Yeah. You end up with like a 70-something%.
Yeah.
That's terrible. You want to have a A+ body because you're doing all these things, and then you go on a bender on the weekend.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that like you have to remember and learn, and it's just about, I hope you guys got something from this podcast. I listen to a bunch of podcasts, right? And I try and gain like a little bit from each one, and then hopefully you remember years down the line. Yeah. And there's some that I remember, like I was in a meeting yesterday, and my buddy's telling me like, oh, I just partnered up with the shop. So now instead of just selling wheels, and that's his business, he does very, very, very well for himself, like a collection of cars, and does very, very good for himself. Selling custom wheels online based worldwide. No shop, but a shop approached them and said, hey, look, let's do this and that and a bunch of things. They came to a deal. He told me the deal. He's like, bro, now I offer this, now I offer that, now I offer this. I'm like, that's amazing. But if there's something that one person told me is keep the main thing.
Okay.
So like, that's just, so grab something from each podcast, and I hope that you guys learned something from today. But that's one of the things that I thought about, because I had to tell him that yesterday, and it was something that I had learned years ago, So I heard him on the phone real quick with one of his clients. He's like, oh, by the way, like the client called him about wheels, and he's here trying to push exhaust and this and that, and I can paint your calipers now and all this. And I was like, dude, don't forget, the main thing's the main thing. you know, because you want to grow and maybe pivot and stuff, but stick to what works. So try a bunch of things, and whatever works, let's go ham.
Okay. I like that. I like that you added
It
that.
applies to a bunch of different things, but is that I go on these rants and, you know, my mind goes. But in short, dude, there's so many things that I've shared with other people that I've learned from you, you know?
Thank you.
And that's one of those things that I'm very appreciative that we've even grown to be friendships on this level, where before we were partying and getting super faded, and we were living a different lifestyle, and we were on the boat, not even remembering how we got home, you know, and now we are way more mature. Our focus is on health, making money, all the right things, you know, and it may sound cliche, like, oh yeah, all the right things, but we truly are who we are, you know. It's not like we're making this podcast and then we're gonna go do bad things and try and scam people and do all these things. Like, we are genuinely very good people that have grown, you know, and that's big. That's big to not only see yourself grow, because I've seen myself grow, but to then see your friends grow around you. It's something that, like, I give a lot of gratitude for, you know. And surrounding yourself, you don't want to stay sticking around with people that don't push you forward.
I agree.
You know, you want to surround yourself with guys that are a lot bigger than you.
Yeah, man.
I experienced that recently. Sorry that I keep going off, but one more thing.
No.
I experienced that recently. I was hanging out with a bunch of it was Formula One weekend, and I was sitting with the VP of Advanced Auto Parts, VP of Valvoline, head director of marketing for Valvoline, like just a very high executive position people. And I was with a couple of YouTubers there, and these guys, they were talking within themselves, and I was feeling like the smallest fish in the whole table. I was like, whoa, these guys are, everyone in this entire table is big time. Like, even the YouTubers that were there, they're big time. They're talking about GT3 RSs. Oh, I just put this on order. Oh, I'm getting this next week. All these things. And I'm just like, bro, this is nuts. I went home and I was like, wow, I was even telling one of my friends, like, bro, I felt kind of whack at one point, because I'm like, man, I feel small.
Oh, but
good. Then he was like, that's exactly where you need to be. Yeah. If you're the top dude in the table, you're at the wrong table. Yes. You want to feel like, all right, cool, this is who I'm surrounded by. Let's go. It's growth time. And that motivated me a lot. I left there, dude, and I've made a bunch of videos. And now, I mean, I'm getting the notifications on YouTube Studio where it's like, congratulations, people are watching your stuff more. Congratulations, you've reached this milestone. And I'm like, why? Because I was hanging out with these people, and they inspired me to do more. So it's who you hang out with makes a big difference.
I like that. And it's so true. It really is. I mean, growing up, our parents always told us,
I know.
In Spanish, dime con quien anda y te diré quién eres.
Yeah, but the weird part is that they hated all their friends. So it's like, what do you want me to hang out with? Nobody?
Yeah. And in English, that's like, tell me who you surround yourself and I'll show you who you will be, or who you are. And it's just so true. It might be a cliche, but it really is. Like, the people you surround yourself are the people that you end up gravitating towards, in the way of being, in the way of acting, and the way of thinking. And so if you always try to put yourself in rooms where everyone is more on an elevated level than you are, then you're only going up.
Yeah, it's true.
Awesome. Okay. I appreciate you for being here, the first guest, man.
Thank you to the listeners, honestly. And the listeners are people that are here from you. So it's amazing that you've been able to grow this and grown a following through you sharing your knowledge on how to be a better person overall. Really, it's just bettering your game.
That is what it's all about. It's just about giving tactics, strategies, things that have worked for me, how to improve yourself, your game, so that you can elevate yourself, so that you can grow more, so that you can get more toys, so that you can fucking get more motorcycles, get more cars.
Dude, get more real estate. Like, that's what it's about. These are toys, but at the end of the day, maybe the house in the Keys is another toy. The house in the mountains is another toy. You got the huge warehouse with the skid pad. That's another toy where you got your toys in there, you know? There's big goals, big mindset, big everything, bro. You got to wake up And if you're tired, do what I do. Just let's go, baby.
Yeah, bro. Guys, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling out all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's prove to the world that we're some badass motherfuckers.
Hell yeah.
So those of you that made it to the end of the episode, I want to say thank you for investing your valuable time into the Live Wide Open podcast. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and living our lives to the fullest is the mission that we're on, man.
Yep.
We're here to become the best we can be, to break the fucking stereotype, and to help others just take things to the next level, man. Where can people find you? Those that have, I mean, I'm pretty, a lot of guys know, a lot of people know you, but where can people find you?
Across all social media, Ricky Boada. Ricky is my name, Boada is my last name. So you type in Ricky Boada in whatever platform you want, and I'll be there.
Awesome. You can find me at Wide Open Randy, and if you felt any connection to this episode, share this baby on your story, man, because that's how more people hear about this.
Yes, sir.
Catch you guys on to the next episode, but till then, live your life wide open, man. Peace.
Yo, thank you again.
Sure.
Let's go. I'm hyped now.
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's go, baby.